Welcome to the Parody, where we tally up the victims in our favorite movies. I'm Chelsea Rose, and today we're looking at Drone, released in 2024. Drone is a rare example of a GGF Fates One movie actually being related to the horror genre in a weird sort of way. While other GGF Fates One movies could be classified as such, notably the flick movies, those are more mystery-oriented and have way more comedic elements involved. Their horror elements were confined to what they were heavily inspired by, not being their own original horror entities. Meanwhile, Drone is a completely new film for the channel, only having this single film. By virtue, is also the shortest GGF Fates One franchise, this first film only clocking in at 84 minutes. Drone is stuck at an interesting place in my filmography. It's definitely the one that takes itself the most seriously out of all of them. That's not to say it's entirely devoid of jokes. The first quarter or so plays out like a normal GGF 871 movie. Meanwhile, the other 3/4 of the movie spends itself being a suspenseful horror flick. That's because Chelsea, Gohan, Optimistic Hedgehog, and Uzi have wrapped themselves up in this mess. Although it was kind of accidental since, none of us knew that was gonna happen. The mess in question is being haunted by 3 phantoms, Jose, Blue Vader, and Ghost. During those 60 minutes of horror, there's only really a few jokes throughout. While the entire thing got passed off as not serious, that doesn't really register the effects it had on the characters themselves. You really can't just say it was just a prank, bro, while also having murdered 10,000 people, you know? I'll probably be biased on a lot of my opinions about this, but as a film, it works greatly as an efficient horror story. Verse setups for the terror throughout the first 20 minutes of the movie, and when we actually get to it, it's hella thrilling. Sure, all the constant terror leads this to be one of the least deadly GGF Fates One movies, but that's not really the point of it all. Really, the entire point of the film is to bask in the constant despair it has unfolding. It's almost as if it's a drone that you know is watching you, but you just don't know where it is. I said this was one of the least deadly GGF Fates One movies. Let's see if it can fulfill the 2 death quota and get to the kills. The movie begins in the hallway of pods. With the main character already having left the movie, she exits one of the pods and registers that there's 10 of them. She goes into the meeting room, but a mysterious guy comes out of the floor and tells her a bunch of wacky shit. Or I guess he just wanted her to shut up and eat the pizza. When she's done with that, she tries buying a drink, but she's gonna be stuck here for the next 3.5 minutes. Are you wearing a robe? Turns out wasn't even worth it. She goes down the dormitory hallways until she enters the last one with a guy behind the door. After typing out a message, she goes outside and grabs an arm and eventually heads to the corpse dome. That's where she finds how they got there in the first place. Since this movie takes place in what's basically the Murder Drones universe, I'll have to explain why this is here. That is, if you haven't defeated my 7x parodies. If you're unfamiliar with this show's ever-expansive reach on the parody, here's all you need to know. That ship there was sent by a parent company, JC Jensen, and crash landed on the planet of Copper 9. It housed a lot of disassembly drones whose sole purpose on the plane was to kill people. The people you need to be familiar with in order to understand what's happening in this movie are Uzi Dorman, and none of the other drones. So in other words, that's how her spaceship ended up in this battle of corpses. Thankfully, none of them are rendered properly enough for me to count. She then picks the drone that she'll be throughout the remainder of the film, and of course she picks V. She heads back to the dormitory hallway where there's a lot more people. So really, throughout the first 20 minutes, her only sole goal is to get rid of Khan. So what does she do? She tells this to someone with that devil thing on their shirt. She gets to Uzi's room and analyzes all there is in there. Another part of this movie is that there's a whole lot of running around, which I can't really incorporate into parody material. Inside another hallway and room, she finds a monitor with a lot of invalid objects and players. Seems that time is also repeating. In the hallways again, she finds that thing that was hiding behind that door, strangely walking. You'll come to find out later that that's largely out of character for these guys. And I think he's also flying when Chelsea hides under the bed. Or, no, shit, is it V? I don't fucking know. She runs into the prom room from episode 3 and jumps up to a hidden area that has a passage. It's locked. For now, which means she has to get out of there. Back at the dorms, it seems the guy dressed up as Zen realizes who this supposed phantom is. Since we're not at that point in the story yet, she heads away. She goes back roughly 10 seconds later and runs back into Khan. Since I said she wants to deal with the guy, she consults the help of this guy, who will come to know as a character named Gohan.
Get who? What do you mean?
He'll come to be more helpful later on, but for now, she doesn't really need his help. She eventually finds him, and now help would be useful. The reasoning for why she wants to kill him also plays within the lore of the show.
Yeah, that guy wants us dead.
And what am I supposed to do about it? What did you do to aggravate him?
I don't know, we just came to this planet. Bro formed a defense force.
I'm not
Killed his
dealing with
wife.
an old geezer.
Yep, all that checks out. Olgizu Khan's in the hallway are currently talking to another N. Gohan suggests that V kill Khan because she had the idea, so she has to go through with it. However, that won't last long as Khan's person eventually leaves the game. In response, other N gives V a card. What the card does is open up Khan's already open secret room. Now it's the part where we should expect everything to ramp up faster. With N, Uzi, and another guy already on the ground, everything seems good now, right? And I don't think you should be repeating animations or... Yeah, Gohan, I don't think you should be frozen. This is the first part of the game, basically just nope saw on me. The other one should happen 40 minutes from now. In the meantime, let's enjoy a title card! Shinter's back after that disruption, where Uzi's a little worse for wear than she was 40 seconds ago. It's proven when they get down to the monitor room, aka the room where Uzi's hiding in.
What the fuck was that?
Oh yeah, that was an F-bomb, and nothing special about that one, but just to let you know, there's gonna be a whole lot more throughout the runtime of the film. Aang glitches into the room so he can have a talk with Uzi. Here's what I'm gonna do for this. This isn't the last time we see him, but this is the last time we see Uzi. That means I'll decide the fate of this Uzi Dorman later. Speaking of the horror I've been hyping up ever since the intro, it's about to start right now.
I'm having your nightmare. We're hearing a voice we don't know where it's coming from over this.
At first they play it pretty chill since they don't know how severe it's about to get. She heads back to where they just were with a cone, where the guy says that he was the person at the vending machine about 15 minutes ago. She gets out the bunker with a railgun and into the corpse zone where the other two are. Gohan and Optimistic Hedgehog are just having a casual conversation before they hear that guy again. He decides to reveal himself as their quote-unquote fucking nightmare, even though that's just a guy named Jose. You get that identity reveal later on in the movie, but I'll just say it now. She shoots him with her railgun, even though that doesn't do anything, as he pops back up just a few seconds later. He says that nothing can kill him, so therefore his downfall won't ever be happening. They get the hell out of there and back over to the bunker. At this point, over 20 minutes in, we get introduced to the final main character of the bunch, another Uzi. Although for simplicity's sake, we could just call her Uzi. And oh yeah, versus other guy running around, who will also become important to the main phantom plot of the film. These character introductions, however, can't seem to suss out where this guy actually is. Even though Uzi says she knows where the guy is, they go into the classroom because it's their best bet. And sure enough, he plops out of the corner. And as you can see, he very quickly disappears. One place I haven't been yet is the vents, so she and Gohan go up there. Well, on the way, holy shit, was that enough? So anyways, like I said, over to plan B. Her second plan is to take them back up to Beyond, where she was in Season 7, Episode 19. Well, V, let's see if it works better. But they both can't stay in there for long, as Gohan tells V to search the vents. After clearing that there's not anything sus going on up there, she goes back to the dormitories. After relaying her classroom findings to Uzi, the guy appears again, so they all get out of there. It seems as if Gohan and Optimistic Hedgehog were also caught by the guy, and he gives them another hint. Search the capsules.
I'm not concerned with what you're searching up right now. I want to know where this man's at.
After a little bit longer of dilly-dallying, V has the idea to run through all the capsules until she finds him. And to my shock, it completely works. However, he dips right as she gets her shot in. With the threat becoming increasingly more apparent, Uzi and V decide to split up from Gohan and Optimistic Hedgehog, which only lasts for a tiny bit longer. Apparently, Gohan was almost killed by the Phantom, which is a real escalation considering all this started roughly about 10 minutes ago. While he's taunting Uzi, Gohan tells her all about him. Wide eyes, the weird ass head, and all the other stuff. While getting out of the room, she says it sounds familiar, suggesting that she's seen this guy before. Well, in the hallway of the doors, it seems they'll be safe. For at least now. If they want to stop this otherworldly force, they'll have to get a lot done, and the only thing they have is Uzi's gun. He's spotted shortly thereafter, which puts them in panic mode. The safest spot they currently have is back up and beyond. Safest place to spout a lot of F-bombs, holy shit. In fact, this one's basically the most profane of them all. Aside from having 91 uses of shit, there's 51 F-bombs, 45 of which are said by V. Eventually, all of them go through the hallways in search of another plan. During that plan, the wide-eyed Phantom comes out of the ground and she fails to shoot him. However, props to V for having a faster speed. That's why she heads out to Camp 98.7, the side of Uzi's absolute silver massacre from episode 4. She makes her way over to a cabin and regrets the decision immediately. That gives us a good chase scene in the woods where she slows down a few times but ultimately manages to make it out. It takes them a minute and a half to reunite in Khan's secret room. They get lured out and hide it in the most obvious place possible. This is where Gohan tells them that he wants to use the powers he apparently has but can't because he's not from this universe. The Phantom follows them there, but I'll give him some props since he did the research to get my name right. With nowhere else to go, they go into the giant-ass crate room. This is the start to a tense scene where the Phantom first appears behind Gohan. After getting him out, the Phantom appears in front of Optimistic Hedgehog, where Chelsea also has to ward him away. They then start going all over the place, where Gohan hides in one of the pods. Optimistic Hedgehog basically appears, and Gohan and Chelsea are taunted even more by the Phantom. And finally, she and Gohan get up to another secret room. This is where we finally get a breather from all the nonsense going on. Before I sling you into the next scene of terror, I keep on saying in this film that they aren't letting up. A really consistent goal has kind of been slaughtered. That leads me to remember the person who was doing Uzi during the first 20 minutes. Although I almost guarantee you there is definitely some other stuff going on, it seemed as if she was distraught during her last appearance. The Phantoms were also lurking around during the first 20 minutes, and maybe she was distraught from the Phantoms. So what I'm saying is that the Phantoms probably got to her, and I'll add her as our first addition to the list, even though the point she died at isn't relative to the point we're at now. Back into the point the movie we're at now, we get another really tense scene as Optimistic Hedgehog's on the stage. That gets Gohan to disappear and another pursuit to begin. During it, there are a few close calls in the episode 3 prom room and a rush outside. That's where we meet Gohan in the spaceship, and also Optimistic Hedgehog knew he was in there. However, all of them are found, so they rush back. It's during this pursuit that Chelsea observes that 2 voices are happening simultaneously. And if you know what that means, it's only one thing.
I've heard 2 voices. That means it's probably 2 of them.
It's already bad enough we had to deal with one.
That's seemingly confirmed when they're right by the exit door. One of them says that the only way they can break themselves from this curse is to bring them flowers, and you know, we're not falling for that shit. Chelsea's explanation for why there could be 2 people is simple. One's in a lower voice and one's in a higher voice. She explains her thought process to Gohan until someone else flies in. After a quick inspection, it's revealed that their name is Ghost, and we need their help. So like, there's a bunch of fucking Phantoms trying to chase us and shit, and like, you know anything about this? Apparently, they do know something about this, and it's revealed that they're the non-binary niece of both the Phantoms. Well, motherfucker, there's 3 of them now. Chelsea gets back to the spaceship in record time and meets another Phantom, this time with red eyes. She's not craving that, so she tells Optimistic Hedgehog what both he and the audience know. Gohan comes back and there's another seal where we're just popping in and out like it's a whack-a-mole. 10 seconds later, the red-eyed one is back at the spaceship. This is where the film goes in the full manic mode for a few minutes, so just try to bear with me. She gives herself a quick breather by confirming who everybody in the server is. Whilst going back to the corpse spot, she accidentally goes back to spawn where she hears some voices. She goes back to confirm she wasn't just hearing things, and sure enough, it's them. She meets back up with Optimistic Hedgehog where both of them don't know the location of Gohan. Or maybe something they spot off in the distance. After a lot more jogging through the hallways, Gohan finally comes back where it's revealed that they almost tried to kill him. But then this happens.
Oh no.
We can assume the one doing all the music box magic is Ghost, the youngest one who's probably more playful than the others. In any case, that shit's still creepy as fuck. They go back to the prom room where they have so many near-death experiences. So it's better late than never for new Uzi to return to the film after leaving it like 25 minutes ago. They meet back up with her with the sort of doing a hug and explaining to her what's been happening the last half hour. That leads them back into the room with those big-ass motherfucking crates. And then another interesting thing happens. Like, Uzi. Why are you talking so nonchalant with it? He just tried to kill us. Wait, what the fuck? Why is this motherfucker laughing? Yep, apparently this entire time all that spooking and scaring was just a big old prank, bro. Appropriately, Gohan and Chelsea don't see it as such, because why the fuck would someone go to those lengths for a simple prank? Like, sure, they were doing that before Vitalicard, but they could've just kept it to, like, the vending machine shit. Not something that would make a full-on elaborate horror short. Anyways, more inappropriately about this, we still have half an hour to go. This big twist happens 52 out of 84 minutes in, so we still got a long way to go. After another short run-in, they run back to the capsule. Wait, what the fuck is that?
Save? What does it say?
What the
Save?
does this say?
Yeah, I'm just as confused as you guys. With that prank reveal probably just being a deviation, suggesting by how we're still at some horror stages, they go back to more That point right there is the second time Rec Room gave out on me, and it wasn't because of literally anything. It was because the game, for some reason, had an update in the middle of filming. I'm not joking, that's actually what happened. When we get back, everyone's reunited in the same sector, and we get the face reveal of some of the Phantoms. After we see the suit and everything, which I'm just gonna cut out since it doesn't really contribute all that much, we get right back into things. We even kinda get a scene that goes horror when Blue Vader and Chelsea have a short but well-shot scuffle. Since the update in the middle of filming kinda fucked things up, it's still gonna be a while before everyone else joins back. Especially Uzi, that's because she's an Xbox player. They meet back up with Optimistic Hedgehog where he says the exact same thing. I'll admit this, the last 25 minutes of the film is where it really does run out of steam. The first hour or so is great, but then these last 25 minutes, it's more negative to me, but I wouldn't call it bad per se. I know I can't change it due to the improvised nature and the fact I wanted this to go more towards a feature-length kind of route, but it really kind of does ruin the uniqueness the film had in its first hour. I'll say this right now, Chelsea does shoot Ghost with the railgun, and that comes back later in a way. And however, like I said, this portion of the movie isn't bad because there are still a lot of good moments. Like the part where she shoots Blue Vader over and over again and where she shoots Ghost with the railgun one more time. It's loony and that's cool, but it doesn't really fit with the tone the movie kinda had. I'll say another good moment within the third act is when Chelsea, Gohan, and Optimistic Hedgehog are stuck in the room with Jose. He says the shot that she delivered on the Ghost really did a number on them and caused them some phantom pain. While V does have some solid metal on them, my gears aren't really spinning enough to add Ghost onto the count. In any case, Jose just flings around that sword of his. The sword is used for the final plan of his execution plan, although he can't really get it to work. Turns out he kinda just stood still in that hallway. He's done with all the spooky and scaring stuff for tonight, so he's gonna have to go. Since 2 out of the 3 Phantoms are very heavily implied to be alive, I won't be adding any of them onto the list. Even Ghost, who was experiencing some phantom pain last we saw them. So now that they're gone, what really can we do? We still have about 10 minutes left of the film. One thing Gohan does is invite his friend, who's really never heard of murder drones before. I'll say right now that Gohan and another character we'll get to meet really do add a bit of comedic resolve to the film's last 10 minutes, considering how bleak it's gonna get. Another thing that happens before the movie ends is that Uzi's Rec Room Xbox finally updates. Since Uzi doesn't know exactly what just happened, Chelsea has to tell her that all 3 of them have left the game. So yeah, with everything resolved, everything should be good now, right? Well, you'd be wrong. Chelsea is considerably more shaken than the others over the experience. My explanation basically is that the character of Chelsea herself kinda has like a breaking point during this last 5 minutes. She seems kinda distraught that the arm she was trying to use just let go. And out of the Rec Room, hell, even any of the Roblox movies, these last hour and 20 minutes have been some of the roughest points in her life. And if nobody died as a result of the Phantoms, you know there's gotta be at least one casualty here, right? So that's why the movie ends like this. My canonical explanation is that to give them a casualty, she decides to kill herself. But think of the positive. At least it won't feel like a title card's watching over her all the time. How many people got sensed out like a drone? Let's find out and get the numbers. Where's that coming from? Wait, man. Stop messing with me. Okay, just let me get to the number. That's my line. Just let me have my line already. Just let me get to the numbers. Considering the vast set of circumstances here, I only decided to count 2 kills in Drone. Both of them were, I think, female, which gives us the first ever all-female pie chart on the parody. After 4 years of doing this, we finally did it and beat James to the mix too. We saw a count of 2 twice before on the parody in Ransom 2 and Crisis. With a runtime of 84 minutes, that left us with a kill on average every 42 minutes. By default, I'll give Amethyst Flamethrower to Chelsea since it had more going on with it and it was a good ending to the film. That means Broken Pistol for Lamisco will be going to Uzi since it was completely off screen and I only did it to fulfill the quota. And that's it. Drone was released in 2024 and as a sequel, Drone 2 due out later this month. I'll cover that when we get into August, but until then, I'm Chelsea Rose, and it's been the parody. Thanks a lot for watching this parody. Sorry for the lack of parodies for over a month, but I was just really kind of burnt out on working on the Danganronpa free parody, which is obviously delayed, and the 5th episode to my own show, Mansion Battle, which should probably be out by the time this is released, but like, I'm not even halfway through with that, so it's not gonna be out for quite some time. My best bet will probably be later this week. Next up will be the awaited Fear, but until then, thanks for watching.